Hi, my name is Daniel Regan, and welcome to HealingUS Podcast. We have an amazing guest today, Patrice Lenowitz. Welcome.
Thank you.
This woman over here is a renegade. She, the amount of things that she's doing and how she turned heartbreak and tragedy into changing lives and saving children. I want to get right into this. We were talking right before this. We had to stop it short, and we have to get into this now. So welcome, and thank you for coming.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so proud of all you've gotten accomplished and all you're doing for the community.
Thank you.
So thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're making a difference, and it shows in people's lives. So
I appreciate that. So where should we start? First off, introduce yourself, and I want to get into Max's Law,
yes,
and where that's at, but let the people know how did this come about? It came from tragedy.
Sure.
That we hear a story so many times, and you've turned it into something. So
thank you. I have 3 kids, and I am the most grateful mom. I'm the mom of all their friends where all the kids gathered, and so I have lots of kids, extended bonus kids, and so raising them well and raising them with information and resources to lead successful, healthy lives was just my goal and my focus. So I talked to my kids about everything. There was nothing off the table. I wanted to make sure that they knew of all the dangers out there and to keep themselves safe, and no means no. And we talked about drugs, we talked about addiction because there's alcoholism in my family, and so we talked about all these things throughout the years. And what I didn't know and what none of us knew was this new drug landscape that has changed so significantly. Mm-hmm. And there's been this incredible flooding of fentanyl analogs in the drug landscape, which, to give you an example, from when I was young, I'm the youngest of 5, I tried everything. Mm-hmm. Like, I was young and dumb, and you want to try this? Okay. You want to try that? Okay. And we then had to worry about, of course, addiction, right? Right. But we didn't have to worry about dying.
Right.
And the new drug landscape is 2 milligrams of fentanyl, which is the very tip of a pencil, is enough to kill you. Mm-hmm. So what that means is, for people who have never had exposure to drugs and they're trying something, they're dead.
It's scary. It's literally, they're putting it in everything now.
So yeah, the way this came about, because I had to get a baptism by fire from losing my son, Max, was learning that it's now in every type of prescription pill. It's counterfeit. So whether that's Adderall, whether it's Xanax like my son took, whether it's oxycodone, whatever that our kids are sharing amongst themselves, when they're buying it, they're just getting it from a friend. Hey, Joe just gave it to me. And they take it, but they don't know that that is not a prescription pill. It didn't come from a pharmacy. And what we know is China created this synthetic form of fentanyl. Mm-hmm. And that is incredibly potent. Incredibly more potent. So just to give you an example, morphine is like the most incredible painkiller that we need, mm-hmm. For surgeries, for injuries, and fentanyl is so much more. Mm-hmm.
It's about 1,000 times stronger.
So exactly. Yeah. So that's a necessary thing, like end-of-life care, cancer. It's a painkiller that is needed. Mm-hmm. What came out is this synthetic form of fentanyl that China created. And China also created the pill press, mm-hmm. which means you can take any pill and duplicate it and add fentanyl to it, and it looks exactly like you got it from a pharmacy.
Yeah, and because these aren't like real laboratories that are making this, from pill to
basements,
pill.
Garages.
It's completely different.
It's not a pharmacist, and it's incredibly cheap, mm-hmm. and easy to produce. And so that's why, and I discovered that this started hitting the drug landscape 20 years ago. It began.
Yes.
So when I heard that from the DEA, I lost my mind. Like, mm-hmm. You've known about this for 20 years, but yet we don't know about it. The parents, like our kids, like we don't know about this. And when Max, my son, my beautiful boy, who was about to turn 25, he, by the way, our birthdays are one day apart. And so it was always birthday central, my dad's birthday, my son's birthday, my birthday, and we always together for our birthdays. But as they get older, he was going to be 25, he lived on his own. The rule was we have to talk at midnight if we're not going to be together. So in this particular year, I had just beat stage 3 colon cancer. And I had to go through chemo. It was just an awful time for me. This young man who didn't live at home came home every 3 weeks when I got chemotherapy to take care of me. He took care of his stepdad. He took care of his family. And he would cook for us. And I would say, Maxie, please don't come home when I'm getting chemo because I can't even function. And I want to be with him. I want to spend time with him. I want to cook for him. And he was like, Mom, I'm here to be with you. And I said, but all I can do is lie down. I can't even move. And he said, well, then I'm going to lie down with you. And so that kid got me through chemo, stage 3 colon cancer. That's who he was. He's a sage. He showed up. He was everybody's person. So any one of his friends thought they were the most important person to Max. That's how he made people feel. He had this big heart. He had talent. And so on the eve of his birthday, the midnight, I'm traveling for the first time without my kids to celebrate beating cancer with Max's stepdad, James. We were in Italy. We just got to Italy. We call him, and he answered at midnight, of course, that's the rule. We sang the Happy Birthday Monkey song. You know, we got a lot of laughs in. He told us what his plans were for his birthday. I told him what the plans were for my birthday. We were just so excited. There was so much love, so much laughter on that call, and I'm so grateful because the very next day, I got the call. We're on a ship in Italy, and it was the Woodcliff Lake Police Department where I live, and it's an officer that we know, and he told us Max was found dead. What are you talking about? Like, we just talked to him, number one, and it's not possible. Yeah. It's not possible. He was going to Atlantic City with all his friends to celebrate. All of his best friends were driving down. He told me about where they were going to dinner in Margate at a restaurant he used to work at, and they were going to stay over, and they were just going to have a grand old time. I'm like, that's not possible. And then I'm thinking, he must have been robbed. Somebody else got his wallet. Like, yeah. That has to be, like, there's just nonsensical. Just doesn't make any sense. But, yeah, it was our son, and he was found with a Xanax. And when we had the autopsy done, he died from fentanyl poisoning, and the Xanax that was on the nightstand in the hotel room was also fentanyl. So, we were thrust into hell, and
I couldn't imagine. And you're stuck on a boat in paradise,
and I couldn't get out. I couldn't get out. They were like, international laws, like we can't get off. And I was like, I'm jumping off. I don't care. We're getting off. Getting off. But I really honestly was hoping beyond hope that this wasn't true. And it nearly killed me. And I'm going to tell you honestly, I had plans to kill myself. I could not handle the pain of losing my child. And I don't want to leave my other kids. I don't want to leave James. I don't want to leave my family, my mom, my dad, my sister. I know that they need me too, but the pain was unbearable. So there was just one moment where I just thought, what can I do? What can I do? And I was really thinking about what can I do to stop these thoughts about suicide. Was I can write legislation. And it just came into my head, and then I thought, oh my gosh, because I worked in victims' rights for 15 years, domestic violence, human trafficking, child abuse prevention. I got some legislation passed on victims' rights, and I thought I can sound an alarm bell by getting a joint resolution done declaring my son's birthday, which is also the day he died, July 14th, as Fentanyl Poisoning Awareness Day for the state of New Jersey. Miraculously, my Senator Holly Schapese, and her chief of staff, Alyssa Dawson, who is going to be my precious girl for the rest of my life. Angel. She ran it through. She really was, because I said, I want to get this done. And she said, we're going to get this done. And in 25 days, it went through the Senate and Assembly. And on the 1-year anniversary of Max's death, July 14th, 2023, Governor Murphy signed it into law, declaring July 14th Fentanyl Poisoning Awareness Day for the state of New Jersey. And I'm thinking, okay, good. Now people are going to know. Like, I've got to let people know. We didn't know. We lost our baby. And that year Max died, 112,000 Americans died from fentanyl. From drug overdose. 85,000 of them were from fentanyl poisoning.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
It's like all the wars combined, we haven't lost that many people. And that was 1 year.
It was insane just going back. I'm in recovery.
God bless you.
And when we were using, we didn't think about this.
Oh, hell no.
And I used heroin as one of my drugs of choice, and I never thought about it. You would just put bags in a syringe, do your drugs, and you would never think about that because everything's I could do 3 bags and I'm not going to overdose. Right. Now I don't know how people even get started. I don't know how kids do any drugs. You hear these parties a bachelor party. There was one in Jersey City, I think last year or the year before. 8 guys, they bought cocaine to have fun. And they were all found dead the next day in the apartment.
It's so horrible.
Even from a drug dealer standpoint, it just seems like bad business. It doesn't make any sense what's happening.
And I understand why, because having the synthetic form that's so powerful of a painkiller, which gives you that euphoric feeling, they're not scientists. They're not pharmacists, so they're saying, oh my God, this is really cheap. If I add it in here, I'm going to addict them so much worse. That's really their goal, right? To have lifelong users, because when I was young, you could be a heroin user and live out your life as a heroin user. Right. Today, you're a heroin user, fentanyl or trank's going to get you because it's mixed and you don't know that it's mixed in with it. So that drug landscape has changed significantly, and we need to get it out there. Our kids don't know, our adults don't know. I mean, I get calls, unfortunately, and I'm here to support people, but it's hard. I get the calls of parents who lost a child. I get the calls from siblings who can't survive losing a brother or sister. I get the calls from wives and husbands who lost their spouse. So it's from children up, there's no, it's not discriminating. Young people experiment, and that's why they're going down like flies. And then you have successful, I got a call about an attorney, successful, married, has 2 kids, went to a party, had cocaine. So now all of them are doing cocaine on the table. He got the line that had the more than 2 milligrams of fentanyl in it.
And I think that's
died.
what society needs to know is we paint a picture from a societal norm, these individuals who are dying of overdoses are, homeless people, vagrants in a back alleyway somewhere, and they're creating crime. And no, there's people that are actually making positive change, or community members that are in church. This isn't that norm that we create is not what's happening right now. And
you know what frustrates me about that? Discrimination, right? These are somebody's child, whether they're homeless or whether they're, whatever their struggles are. We know that in order to be in that point in your life, you suffered significant trauma. And we know with the adverse childhood experiences, science that tells us unequivocally, children that are exposed to domestic violence, homelessness, a parent that's incarcerated, divorce, the death of a family member, any of those, child sexual abuse, any of those things contribute to their internal gasoline of adrenaline going on and not turning off. Right. And that changes your perception, and as your brain is developing, how you handle stress, how you handle anxiety, how you handle things that could be scary in our lives, which we all go through. And they're set up to fail because we're the ones, because I'm a child survivor of domestic violence, we're the ones who have a higher chance of turning to drugs or alcohol to numb the pain, or taking our lives, the depression, and the science of the adverse childhood experiences says that you'll have a reduced life expectancy of as much as 20 years. So when we talk about this issue of what we're in right now in America with this drug epidemic, and people say something so harsh like, well, they're probably a drug addict, they chose that. You know what? Excuse me, but
Yeah.
nobody chooses that.
Well, and there's a whole family suffering behind them as well. They similar to what you experienced when you said, I was suicidal. Like, how can I go on without my love, my son,
Right.
my life? And my mom felt the same way. Even when I was in active addiction,
Right.
it completely shifted her sense of identity, because I was similar. I was a straight A student. I was participatory at home. She had no idea this double life was going on. Yeah. And that made her question everything about her life.
Same.
And she was in early childhood education. She ended up selling all of her daycare centers because she's like, how can I don't even know my own child. How can I help other parents' child? Like, it makes you question everything. And like you, but turn that into a passion to help others.
I that's my saving grace in this moment, because once we got the joint resolution signed, and I realized, well, nobody's talking about it enough, and we're literally losing thousands and thousands of people just here in New Jersey every year. Mm-hmm. What are we going to do? So I wrote, co-authored with Senator Holly Shapizi's chief of staff, Alyssa Dawson, a legislation which is called Max's Law, that is 6th through 12th grade fentanyl and xylazine prevention education in the school system. We have full bipartisan support. It was supposed to go through, and we got it as far as this year at the Senate Education Committee. They voted on it unanimously, and the next step was the full Senate floor. I don't know why, and I can tell you, for somebody who is living this alternate reality, which is very painful every day, having to get up without my son, knowing that he's not here, and then the delays and the frustration and the roadblocks. We don't know why it didn't make it to the full Senate floor in May. I was told it was going the 5th or the 12th, full Senate floor. It's going to pass unanimously. Everybody knows this is an epidemic. Everybody knows we're losing kids and siblings and spouses. We've got to do something about it. And then it was moved to the Budget and Appropriations Committee. I honestly, I have I can't rationalize this, because there's no fiscal dollar amount to Max's Law. It is free content for educators. It is free training for educators for the state. There's no dollar amount associated with it. So why it was moved there, I don't know. But they made the decision not to post it for a vote. And so now I have to live knowing that come September, when our kids could have been getting life-saving information 6th through 12th grade, we're going to have to wait a whole other year. So
that's absolutely ridiculous.
I couldn't sleep.
This is needed, and our kids need to be educated. So what can we do to help you? What can our viewers do to help get behind you?
Well, I'm a fighter. So I did have to cocoon a little bit. I was in a lot of pain, thinking, all right, more kids are going to die. We could have prevented it, and now people are going to know my pain.
And it regurgitates that. Yeah.
So I cocooned a little bit. I was licking my wounds and then trying to figure out what to do next. Yes, it could be posted in the fall. Yes, 2026, fall of 2026, we could get it into the school system, not fall of 2025. So I just thought, the Senate Speaker, the Senate Assembly Speaker, they can call a special session in New Jersey this summer, a special session to vote on Max's Law. I have to believe that Max's Law being moved to the Budget and Appropriations Committee was a mistake. It has to be, because nobody would want to prevent life-saving information for our families.
I would hope not.
Right.
Yeah.
So I am calling on the Speaker of the House, of the Senate and Assembly, and asking them to hold a special session to vote this summer for Max's Law. And it's S2818 is the number of the bill.
S2818.
S2818. Anyone can go on and look it up. And what they can do is they can call Senator Sarlo, Senator Scutari, and Assemblyman Coughlin, and call them, email them, say, please, this is life-saving measures for New Jersey's families, for New Jersey's children. The most innocent that we have are being struck down like flies by a fentanyl and xylazine epidemic. We have to act now, and it's going to take a day out of your summer to do it.
If that.
So please hold a special session.
So in this
summer.
video, in this clip, we'll put up the senators' information, their office numbers, so that you can contact them, as well as their emails. So maybe we can put together a template for a letter for
That would
people
be
to put together.
fantastic.
And we'll
you.
get that out to everybody so that we can bombard them. This needs to go through.
Thank you so much. I really
Thank you for
appreciate
coming
that.
today.
Thank you for having me, and
Absolutely.
God bless you, and
And let's
thank
continue
you
this
for being
conversation.
here and doing so much good in the world.
Well,
I'm
thank
really
you.
grateful for you. Thank you so much.
See you later, everybody.